So before like doing anything, I just give you some example. Here in this case, inspired by WordLive, we indexed a session data set. So not the exact data set from WordLive, but an open source data set. We used the deep fashion data set. You might know it already. So what we could do is like taking one of these phrases here and find then related images. So it's a text to image search. Blue shirt, woman, white royale. These are the results you get. Of course, like these are just some examples you run. You can also come up with something beige dress for barbecue, and then you get your dress for the barbecue. And yeah, you could even like write something which is clearly not in the data set. So like SpongeBob costume. Hey, what would you expect? Like if it's not there, then it's not there. It should show any results, but it takes what is closest to that one. So it just shows something yellow. And you could even think like, okay, you could make a costume out of this if you put some points here, and then you can buy this and build your own SpongeBob costume. But at least the closest thing it's matching. And that's what semantic search is. Like in traditional search, whenever something is not matching very accurate, then you don't get good results at all. But in semantic search, it's like more fuzzy, and you get more semantic similar results, even if this doesn't exist. Yeah, we have a lot of other cases. For instance, here is an NFT data set indexed, and you already see the pattern. Like it looks very similar, but a different data set is indexed. And this is what you can do with Jina NOW. You give your own data set and then index it using Jina NOW, just without using our framework, because it can be very complicated to learn in the beginning. You have to at least read all the documentation. But if you would like to get started right away, you can use this and host your own search case. And for this NFT data set, for instance, here we have a work race board, unshaven, sunglass, orange, black monkey, and then for whatever, it gives the closest matching results for this NFT data set. So something here with a cigar, and then even this is not a cigar, but something in the mouth, and then the model tries to, even if this doesn't exist. And we could also think about the other way around. In this case, we search with an image and try to find text. And here one colleague of us, Joshka, he indexed the rock lyrics data set, just from some bands, some rock lyrics. And if we just search, or let's do something so that it actually also raises. Then what we get here is he changed the hand, live, everything works out. Okay, it's like giving something positive. Something here is something recognizing something with thumbs. So yeah, and if we do something else, for instance, this, or today I was at the buzzwords, so maybe it picks up the hat and gives related lyrics to that one.
So Florian, we're getting a few questions in here. So I'll start with the top one. So we have a question on where are the images being pulled from?
That's a good one, yeah. So in the previous case, right? Like for instance, that one and that one. So I will show you in a minute on how I set this up, right? You can just create your own document array if you're a bit familiar with Jina, and then run it in Jina NOW. But you can also just have a local folder. So once I indexed some images from my previous vacation, and then I could just write some searches. Where is an image of a beach or like the hotel room or something, and then it gives me exactly these ones. So images can be ones we host just for you to experiment around. It can also be your own one, your own lyrics or your own text. And yeah, in this case, clearly saw the head and put a lot of results, including that one. And at the beginning, I thought this is just for the lol. So we built this case because it's funny. But today on the conference, I got feedback from one potential client. He was saying they use this to get tags for images. And if you don't have a finite set of tags, but more phrases, and then they have a lot of these phrases, and they can, using this, just take the top K results for images and therefore have tags for their image content. And then before I show you the like how you set it up on your own, I would just like to show you also that in this case, it's like some custom data type, and you have some data set like this home office data set. This was indexed containing a lot of anything related to home. Of course, you can upload an image, but it's much more fun with the webcam. I found this very funny. I tried this out before, and then this showed as results. So the model somehow knows that I normally wear glasses, but not today. I have contact lenses. So now I hope I made you a bit curious on how this can be set up, and therefore I jump directly into the code. First, stop sharing this screen and continue sharing the terminal. And don't be scared of the terminal. I won't write a lot of code. Now let's define a Python class. No. Now the only thing you have to do is pip install Jina NOW. And in my case, it's a bit faster because I already installed it. As you can see, requirement already satisfied. And then you do Jina NOW start. And then it's doing a small initialization. And then we'll ask you what case you have currently. And as you've seen before, there was a text to image case and also an image to text case. Also possible and also the image to image case, like the last one where I also did a photo and then got some images as a result. Two follow-up cases. One is music to music search, which I was privileged and could already look into this. It was very fun playing around with to get music recommendation based on your favorite sounds. And then also the text-to-text search Andrea mentioned before. What you do is then you select your case. If you would like to have, like Andrea did also for this image search, for fashion search, you would like to have a text-to-image search, then you can choose a quality. Of course, you would like to have the best possible quality, I'm sure. But when you do local deployment, for instance, take in consideration that like excellent quality, then also indexing will be slower because you have less queries per second for indexing and also for running then for the end user. So we choose in this case local like medium quality. And then, so this should not come too much as a surprise. You can select one of our example data sets. These I have shown you before and even more. Like I've shown you, for instance, NFT, Bored Apes data set and the fashion data set. And it's also possible to select custom. So when I do a custom, then I can choose to use a document array. This is a preferred way because if you know already what Docker array is, then you can push your Docker array to the cloud, and then we can just get it via the ID. Of course, you can have your Docker array hosted somewhere, or you can just provide a local path of, as I said before, my vacation images. And you define local paths. So this is not a real path, but you get the message basically. And then next thing is you can choose you would like to deploy it locally or running on our cloud. I guess when you have very private data and you don't want to go through all the restrictions in your company to finally get started, you can also just try it out right now by doing the local deployment. And then if all this NDA is set up and stuff, that's also possible to host it on our cloud infrastructure, which is even for free currently. So use the chance, be one of the people who can still use it for free. All right, that's regarding this demo. Of course, I just put a random local path, so there will not much happen, but I think when you do pip install Jina-now and then Jina NOW start, then you can experience everything on your own and deploy it locally or in the cloud. It will take a bit, so that's why I'm coming back to the Zoom call right now, and I'm curious to hear your questions.
All right, so Florian, we have another question here. So if an image isn't there in the data set, does it generate an image like DALL-E?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it would be possible in theory, but not being there. So like we have to really define what that actually means, because there's never the exact image there I'm searching for. Right? It's always a nearest neighbor with certain distance to the text query. And you could define like, okay, if it's not within that range, then I generate. And this, I agree, is like a fun case. We have not seen this in the industry so far, because usually someone who would like to make their data searchable, they really just would like to get their online articles shown to the users, and not some fake articles which don't exist because the user cannot buy it anyways. Yeah.